Calling this meeting to order. Susan, will you please call the roll?
Delighted. Thank you everybody for joining us on the May 3rd, 2017 Ann Arbor Downtown Development Authority monthly meeting. So roll call. Sava Lakaj Farah. Here. Bob Gunsel.
Here.
Rick Klopp. Here. Howard Lazarus.
Here.
Joan Lowenstein. Here. Darren Kinnan.
Present.
Hal McWilliams.
Here.
John Moat.
Here.
Ishi Narayan.
Here.
Keith Orr.
Here.
John Split. And Phil Weiss.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Damn, we almost had a full house except for John ruined it. So that was great. First off, audience participation. Is there any audience to participate because we don't have anyone signed up? Sweet. Not sweet. We'd like audience to participate. Moving on. Strike that from the record. Cameras off. Roll it back. Reports from city boards and commissions. Ray Detter.
Good morning. Last night, Downtown Area Citizens Advisory Council meeting was devoted to a discussion of our future positions and efforts in relation to making the core project of the library block the best it can possibly be. We fully intend to be actively involved in the public process of the Citizens Participation Meeting, at least 2 design review board meetings, multiple planning commission meetings, and as many meetings as it takes to win city council approval. Those present last night stressed again their desire for more retail space, no national chains definitely in the area they didn't want. More public activity on the street level, interconnectivity, very important. Improved design possibilities, including the possibility of a planned project on the site, which might allow it to go a lot taller in some areas, and it could reduce the nature of its mass in other areas, and also its shadow. And also, they might allow greater height in that portion in exchange for less negative impacts on historical and residential neighbors and possibly more facades in the building that currently exist. Sensitive management by the city and county of integrated affordability requirements is essential. Strict enforcement of Gold League commitments, avoid looking like Southfield, were also mentioned. The final developments must show clear benefits to the continued operation of the district library on the block, and we continue to insist that the details of how that 12,000 square foot plaza is to function as a cooperative public-private space. It needs to be clearly identified. Once again, CAC members stressed the need to improve and connect to Liberty Plaza in cooperation with First Martin on whatever they hope to develop on their properties. Members of the CAC still believe that development plans should include a possible connection to the Blake Transit Center and also the former YMCA site, even eventually connecting via William Street to emerging plans for development of the nearby Allen Creek Greenway and the multiple residential properties that have been and will continue to be, we believe, erected along that corridor, providing eyes on the future Greenway Park system. And we believe that the library block must be developed as a part of an overall vision for the future of downtown. Future DDA parking plans are an essential part of that vision. Last night, DDA Executive Director Susan Polley outlined some of the considerations and possibilities that will be a part of the DDA's parking retreat scheduled for the morning of June 23rd. And we believe the downtown area is in good hands at this point, in the hands of the DDA. And we look forward to being there. And finally, at your desk, there's an early invitation because it's 1 month from today. At your next meeting is the greatest party in Ann Arbor that's given every year. And of course, everybody comes. We usually get about 300 people in the course of the evening, some of them more inebriated than others. Both the houses are open. And of course, I mean, all of the lawns and tables and all that sort of thing are up sometimes till 4 o'clock in the morning. There are people still wandering around if they can still walk. So please join us at that party a month from today. It's the day of the DDA meeting next month. Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. You really sold the party well. I think we're going to have a lot of attendees. Any communications from DDA members? Nope. Executive Director Communications?
Thank you. I've just got a few. The first is a reminder about Commuter Challenge. Those of us that are able to, this is our opportunity to try at least one commute using transit or bicycling or walking or sharing a ride. There's a lot of benefits to making that experiment. You might find that you save money. You might find that you're a little healthier. You might find that your commute in is actually a little bit more interesting if you're sharing it with someone. For us as a DDA, it's a great time to see some of our downtown employees at least consider some of their options so that they feel that they've got as many options as possible when they come down here to go to work. All the DDA staff are participating, so to the extent that you're able to, anybody on the board that hasn't signed up, please feel free. The second is in line with what Ray just spoke about, which is thinking about how to plan for that whole block with core spaces. Yesterday, Joe and I had a chance to meet with the new CFO at the library, and the director, Josie Parker, was also here. She said that I could share with you if you're interested. She and her board are holding a retreat in June. They're going to oddly be at the Westgate branch to talk about the downtown facility. They are, as a board, going to look at what they may or may not be able to do with that building and or maybe a possible future other building. But if they stay in their location, what that building might need, how their programs are changing and growing. So for those that are interested, again, the library retreat was welcome to all of us, and that's on June 12th. And then with regard to retreats, the DDA, a reminder on your calendar, as Ray said, the DDA is holding a retreat of its own, June 23rd from 9 a.m. to 1. Our focus that meeting will be solely parking. We've talked streetscape in the past. This is solely parking. There are 3 topic areas that we're going to look to come to some consensus on. The first is how we implement the recommendations given to us by Nelson Nygaard about how to manage demand. And some of that's pricing, some of that is changing in how we do things, for instance, changing time limits at the meters. The second is getting your feedback on what I will work on with the city administrator for our recommended amended parking agreement with the city. We have a work session this fall. We're going to talk about what elements we'd like to see in there, and that perhaps we'll focus on things like enforcement and whether or not the DDA takes that over. And then the third one, the one that I know we've spent the most time talking about at Finance Committee, is whether or not the DDA wishes to pursue the construction of more parking. And if we do it, what the timing would look like, what that might look like in the face of changing technologies like connected and autonomous vehicles. So we're going to spend a fair amount of this session talking about that question. And I think it's a really interesting one that other communities are likewise wrestling with. So again, that's on June 23rd. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan. Next up, we need to approve the minutes from April. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Does anyone have any corrections or issues or questions about the meeting or the minutes from April? All those in favor of approval of the April meeting minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Minutes approved. Moving on to subcommittee reports. First up, as always, it's the meatiest operations committee. John and Keith, or all Keith, I should say.
Right, in the role of John Split.
That's
Appearing
right.
in the role of John Split. Though actually the first one I think is mine. Yes, it is. A resolution to provide funding for the Go Pass. That is on page 13 through 24. I'm going to move that resolution.
Is there a second?
Support.
John Millett.
Let's see. So let's see, a couple of notes about this, though there is a request on the Get Downtown, which is part of the program, or the Go Pass as well. We end up only paying the amount that's actually used. So this is just an estimation based on this year's usage. Some of the things that are different is that they are going to be doing a commuter and employer survey to try and get some metrics on the Go Pass and Get Downtown program. A new Get Downtown website. Anyone who is an employer using it knows it's a pretty static website. cards that are issued to me, be able to make changes on there. So that's will hopefully help them and help us. And there's also a new Dipsy Ann Arbor Express bus service, which is beginning at the end of the summer. And we all know that that's an extremely important route, and we do subsidize that. Any questions? Sound like we all love get that down, right?
Yeah, all right. Since there's no questions, no more discussion, all those in favor of approving the resolution providing funding for the Go Pass supplemental transit service and the Get Downtown program for fiscal year 2018, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Back to you, John Keith.
And now the John split portion. Let's see. Resolution to approve a 2016 year-end management fee for Republic Parking for management of DDA parking facilities. This is on pages 25 to 28. Basically, the way. Oh, right. I got to move this first.
Do I have a second? Support?
Second.
Bill, thanks.
So the way this has worked, the management agreement with them, since we started working with Republic Parking, is that there's a set management fee with a built-in up to a certain amount, 50,000, I believe has always been the case. It's the highest amount for the management fee that would be paid on the anniversary date of the contract based on a DDA review of Republic's performance. The Operations Committee unanimously decided that they had done a great job this year, both in terms of some of the metrics we use in terms of lost tickets and cleanliness and customer surveys and all of these sort of metrics, as well as just providing information to us when we want it that is above and beyond their contractual responsibilities. So the Operations Committee unanimously recommended to the board that we provide the entire 50,000 management fee to public parking service this year.
Just throw out a comment that I appreciate, folks from Republic, Brian Kern came up. Is he district manager? I'm not quite sure what Brian's.
He's the senior vice president for the Western Division.
So I appreciated that he came for that meeting too, to see for any questions and all. And they seemed very receptive to the challenges of moving forward with improved technology and so forth. So I think so far we felt very good about the relationship after going through the whole interview process and looking at this last year. So there's good support for this bonus.
Any other discussion? Anyone have any beefs? Okay. All those in favor of the resolution to approve a 2016 year-end management fee for public parking for management of DDA parking facilities, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Resolution passes, I should say.
All right. Monthly parking and transportation report, which is on pages 29 to 31. And once again, we started doing this as a sort of monthly summary report some time ago, and I love it because it does such a great job of summarizing these things and putting it in writing beforehand so that I can simply say, it's in the packet. Anyone have any questions, and we'll happily direct them to someone on staff. All right. Let's see. 4th and William project status. Other than painting and tile work, construction is completed. Yay, yes, and it looks beautiful. Punch list items will be undertaken in the next month or so when temperatures are more consistently warm, as if there's anything such as consistently warm around here. Let's see. e-park installations. They've been moving along smoothly. I know we're really happy with them down in the Carytown area. They'll be completed by the end of May, and that smartphone payment application that we've been talking about for a while is going to be rolled out at the same time. I know many people are kind of excited about that. And then back to one of my things, the circulator status. The work's been ongoing by the consultants, largely reviewing data in hand, and they are going to attend the next Ops Committee meeting to give us an update. And that next committee meeting is Wednesday, May 31st at 11 a.m.
Great, thank you so much. Moving on to Finance Committee, and Marie.
So we did our usual very riveting, fun job of reviewing all the monthly expense registers. It really is the funnest thing.
Agreed.
We reviewed the 10-year plan. The plan may change based on the outcome of the retreat that we're going to have. So we didn't clearly, it's as is right now, and there could be changes, so we recognize that. We had a bit of a chat about it. We also talked a little bit with Tom Crawford about the timing scenario of bonding the projects, and he's going to get back with us on some options and of how we might do that or might not do that. So we'll wait to see what he brings back next month. We reviewed the third quarter statements. We asked questions about parking revenues, had a discussion about that. Susan did present the agenda, but you talked about it already, of what the agenda might look like, how it's getting framed for June to tee us up. And that's it. The next Finance Committee meeting is Tuesday, May 31st at 1 p.m.
Great, thanks.
Wednesday, May 30th.
It moved. What'd you say?
Wednesday, May 31st.
Oh, Wednesday, May 31st.
Thanks, Marie. Next up, Capital Improvements Committee and Dr. Moat.
We're flying.
Fine.
I'll try to slow things down.
I'm sure you will.
So, South University streetscape project is underway, under construction. So, the traffic is being diverted. I'm sure people are starting to realize it's really happening. There's probably some sadness on South U, but
The emails are going to start coming soon.
well, I asked Amber, and I guess we've had one contact so far, people being surprised, but staff's done a great job. Staff and contractors, as I understand it, have been going door to door, talking to people, trying to make sure everyone's aware of what's happening, the schedules, what to expect. So I don't know that there's much more to be done than to try to just continually keep communicating with people and obviously giving people a heads up about what will happen at Art Fair and all those good things. But it's happening. It's underway. It's our first of this series of projects that's in construction. So let's be happy.
One thing, we had a meeting at Pizza House about it, and interestingly enough, everyone is going to lose their entrance to their business for some period of time. So it was kind of interesting to see people talking about how they're going to deal with that and coordination. But I think ultimately we put it out there, and it wasn't something that was a surprise. One day on a Thursday, it's how do customers get in? So the contractor was really good, I thought, in terms of what is the best day for you, what's the best time for you, it's gonna happen, how do we minimize it? So anyway, it's something that I didn't really think about until that day, and then it's okay, well, how else are you gonna pour the sidewalk? So I'm sure most people did not really think that they would, they thought it would be inconvenient.
People will enjoy the zip lines.
Yeah.
Take them right in the front door.
Well, and I think there's some okay, who's got a back entrance, who's got a side entrance, who's gonna climb over from a neighbor's, So anyway, that I think kudos to everybody that is communicating and staff, because if we don't do it, it's not gonna get done, and obviously someone still didn't know. So yeah.
Moving on, 5th in Detroit, the staff is still meeting with Carytown businesses and the community high school and really getting down to some of the nitty-gritty of, solid waste collection and maintaining landscape and all those sorts of issues. So I think that that'll lead to a final recommended design that will be brought to us at our May meeting. So if folks want to have a look and weigh in on the final design for Detroit, try to make it to the May meeting, Keith. And then public meetings will happen in June. I guess the only other detail thing I can think of is that apparently there's been some success in Liz's contacting some of the private utility companies about looking to try to put Comcast, AT&T lines and all that stuff underground. So that's underway, and I think so far so good, Liz. That encouraging that we could accomplish that. I think that's an important piece. The next one is Huron Street. At our last meeting, Smith Group JJR focused on, in their presentation, on the traffic issues, which are, as you can imagine, complex. They had lots of charts and graphs and numbers and things that were pretty unintelligible, but fascinating. But the end result of it is that, all in all, to no one's surprise, it looks as though we'll have to maintain the basic lane structure as it is now. 2 lanes each way, center turn, and so forth. But the other aspects that we've all talked about, the pedestrian crossings, improved landscaping, lighting, all those other elements would move forward. But one piece that might still be a possibility actually out in the street in the lanes is looking at the notion that at off-peak hours of whether it can be used for parking and or sort of improved transit lanes, those sorts of things. So Smith Group JJR and FTCH are studying those elements. So that'll be interesting to have them come back and talk with us some more about what might be possible out there for those things. Obviously, continuing meetings with stakeholders and city staff, starting to have conversations. Have you had any conversations with MDOT yet, or is that still a little bit? So that obviously those infamous, MDOT conversations will have to happen, and then looking at hosting pop-up workshops. I think Huron's going to be probably kind of a challenging street to get folks involved. But we've talked about, for instance, the county courthouse is an important element there, and there are folks to contact there and sort of be actively engaged in that conversation and get the awareness of what's happening. So those are the 3 projects. The other thing we talked about at the last meeting was, again, related back to Maria, you referred to as these potential future scenarios moving forward. How do we fund them? How do we package them? And we recommended a sequence of projects and how to schedule them that move forward to finance, and it's sort of part of what I think we'll likely be talking about at the retreat, hand in hand, of how this next group of streetscape projects can be brought on board, how they get financed. I know apparently Tom Crawford has been at Amber's door a lot. They've been talking about various scenarios and so forth. So I think there's good progress being made on that front. I guess, does anyone have any questions related to any of those projects or those groups of projects moving forward?
Point of order, Amber's office does not have a door.
So Tom's just been barging right over.
Yes.
He doesn't even have to worry about a door open. Nobody has any questions? Our next meeting is Wednesday, May 17th at 11 a.m.
Thank you, John. Next up, Partnerships and Economic Development Committee, Jonah Now.
Well, we don't have much to report because we canceled our meeting this month. And so, last month. But our next meeting is May 10th at 9 a.m.
Nice. Okay. Thanks very much. Executive Committee. I will jump in for that. We met, as we always do, before this meeting at 11 a.m. We discussed, well, a lot of random topics, but nothing of substance. And
Thank you for your
yes,
refraining.
yeah, discretion is best. And we just went over the agenda, which is, as you guys have noticed, is pretty light, which is sometimes nice. And nothing major. Does anyone else at exec have anything to report on that? Okay.
The exec meeting minutes.
The exec meeting minutes, hopefully they don't reflect every comment. Okay, well, that's moving on to new business. Is there any new business? Okay. Has anybody from the audience decided to participate now? Other audience participation? No? Okay, great. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Second.
We are adjourned.